This time, we're going to add a little something to the basic scene we created last time. What if we wanted to animate this box mesh moving upwards? The current value of box mesh position Y is 1. So increasing it by more than 1 will move it up, right? We'll declare a variable boxmesh y and assign it the current value of boxmesh position y, which is 1. Then, add 0.01 to boxmesh y, and assign boxmesh y as the value of boxmesh position y. So boxmesh position y would be 1.01, right? And then when I render it, of course, there's no change, because it's just gone from 1 to 1.1. We need to keep adding 0.01 to it to animate it, right? This means that this part of the code should be executed repeatedly. Create a function named draw and put this code inside the function. Now that we've created our function, we need to call it. But nothing has changed yet. To make the function call repeatedly, we'll have window request animation frame call draw from inside the draw function. This way, you're calling the draw function over and over again. Don't forget to repeat render as well. Instead of request animation frame, you could use the method of Three.js. This is the renderer's set animation loop method. Similarly, put in the draw function and call it. You can use either, but the Three.js documentation suggests using set animation loop when creating VR content. Almost all Three.js applications draw the screen like this, repeatedly. We'll be building our application based on this structure as well. You can see that the value is increasing. Now let's delete the parts we don't need. Now, let's hire a cameraman. If you search for controls on the Three.js website, you'll find a number of modules that allow you to control the camera. It's very easy to add powerful features to control the movement of your camera, just like hiring a professional cameraman. We'll use the orbit control, which is useful for rotating the camera or zooming in and out. Orbit controls is an add-on and must be imported explicitly. Copy and paste this code. According to the documentation, we need to create an instance object with the orbit controls constructor function. Let's copy and paste it into our code. There you have it, a simple way to add some nice camera controls. Let's look at some more code from the documentation. To ensure that the various settings are applied correctly, we need to run the controls update method. In the code in the documentation, the function that keeps running over and over again is called animate. In our case, it's called draw. Inside the draw function, we'll put code that calls the update method. Now, if we move the camera around, from the viewpoint below, the ground mesh is not visible. When we go inside the box mesh, we still don't see the inner surface. A mesh is made up of vertices, edges, and faces. A face has a front side that is rendered by default, and a backside that is not. When we went under the ground mesh and inside the box mesh, we were facing the backside of each face, which is why we couldn't see them. By setting the side property of the material, you can make the backside visible or both the front side and backside visible. Okay, let's make them both visible. Set the value of the side property to doublecide. You can see the backside now, right? Let's do the same for the box mesh. We can now see the inside of the box. By searching for controls in the example, you can test different camera controls. In this lesson, we learned how to set rendering loop and tried out the camera controls. Until next time. This lesson is the basic part of Build a First-Person View 3D website with Three.js. If you're interested in the full course, check out the link in the video description. And don't worry, you can still learn the basics of Three.js by watching this YouTube playlist without watching the full course.